In the world of pop music, there is a hit, and there is a mega hit. Certain songs don't just climb the Billboard Hot 100, they take over, setting up camp at the top spot and refusing to leave. In this video, we look at songs with the most weeks on #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 since 2000. Closer by the Chainsmokers and Halsey. Closer took over the charts back in 2016 with one of the catchiest choruses of the 2010s, becoming the breakthrough hit for both the Chainsmokers and Halsey. The Chainsmokers were on the rise in the EDM scene, and Halsey was an indie pop artist with an edgy persona who had a couple of charting singles before that. The song debuted on #9 on the Billboard Hot 100. It slowly climbed up to #1 a month later. It became a bona fide hit, and for 12 weeks, it ruled the Billboard Hot 100. The song became one of the biggest EDM hits of all time, and turned Halsey from an underground favorite into a household name. Boom Boom Pow by the Black Eyed Peas. The Black Eyed Peas had been around for a while, but in 2009, they took their career to a whole new level. As the first single from their fifth album, The End, Boom Boom Pow debuted with futuristic vibes, robotic vocals, and cutting-edge production that felt fresh at the time. The song debuted on #71 on the Billboard Hot 100 and climbed up the charts slowly, becoming the group's first #1 hit in the US. It ended 2009 as the biggest song of the year. In an era where hip-hop and electronic sounds were just beginning to meld, it started a trend of electronic-dominated music, spending 12 consecutive weeks on #1. The song's success paved the way for the Black Eyed Peas to have the biggest years by any artist, as they totally dominated 2009. Yeah by Usher. Usher's Yeah featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris is a masterclass in blending R&B with crunk, the southern hip-hop style that Lil Jon helped to popularize. Released in 2004, it was an instant hit, exploding on radio stations and dance floors with its infectious energy. What set the song apart was its seamless blend of smooth R&B vocals with a high-energy crunk beat, and of course the Lil Jon. Yeah! With 12 weeks on #1, it became Usher's most iconic song, solidifying his position as an R&B titan. The success of the track was no fluke. It was perfectly engineered to be a club banger, and it delivered. It remained on the Hot 100 for 45 weeks, becoming a lasting hit. It ended the year as the biggest song of 2004 in the US, and it remains one of the most unforgettable songs of that era, redefining Usher's career. Lose Yourself by Eminem. When Eminem released Lose Yourself in 2002, it was more than just another single. It was an anthem, written for the movie 8 Mile. The song captured Eminem's underdog story in its purest form. Raw, intense, and with lyrics that hit like a punch, it became an instant classic. The beat was powerful, Eminem's flow was unmatched, and the storytelling, pure cinematic gold. Lose Yourself held the #1 spot for 12 weeks, which was groundbreaking for a hip-hop song at the time, ruling the charts at the end of 2002. It just didn't top the charts. It also won an Oscar, a rare achievement for any pop song, and its legacy has endured to become Eminem's biggest song. It has now been certified 13 times platinum, making it one of the best-selling songs of all time. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. When Mariah Carey released All I Want for Christmas Is You in 1994, no one could have predicted that it would become a holiday classic with such staying power. Unlike many Christmas songs, it wasn't a cover or a traditional carol. It was an original, and it had that unique Mariah Carey magic. It is now the undisputed Christmas classic, timeless and fresh every December. Fast forward 25 years to 2019, and All I Want for Christmas Is You hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for the first time, showing the power of holiday nostalgia. Since then, it has now spent 14 cumulative weeks on #1, and each year, it reclaims its crown as soon as the holiday season begins. The song just gets better with age, and is why Mariah is known as the Queen of Christmas. Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars. Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson, with vocals from Bruno Mars, brought a burst of energy to pop music in late 2014. The song has all the elements of a classic funk anthem: the horns, the bass line, and Bruno's infectious charisma. Upon its initial release, it was clear that it was going to be big, but few could have anticipated just how massive it would become. With a mix of retro vibes and modern production, Uptown Funk captured listeners of all ages, dominating the airwaves and spending 14 weeks on number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The music video also helped elevate the song's appeal even further. It ended 2015 as the biggest song of the year, now being certified 11 times platinum by the RIAA. I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. When the Black Eyed Peas dropped I Got a Feeling in 2009, it continued their chart dominance. Produced by none other than David Guetta, the song was engineered to hook, practically written to be a party anthem. On the Billboard Hot 100, I Got a Feeling locked down the number 1 spot for an incredible 14 weeks, following Boom Boom Pow, which made the Black Eyed Peas the first act to be at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 for 26 consecutive weeks. That's half the year. After they made history in 2009, the group were solidified as one of the biggest acts of the 2000s. We Belong Together by Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey's We Belong Together wasn't just a comeback, it was a reminder of her unparalleled dominance in pop and R&B. Released in 2005 as part of her The Emancipation of Mimi album, the song hit an emotional sweet spot with its tale of heartbreak and yearning. For 14 weeks, We Belong Together sat comfortably at number 1, becoming one of Mariah's biggest hits since the early 90s. It wasn't just another song on her discography, it was a career-defining song that proved that Mariah still had that chart-topping magic. It not only ended 2005 as the biggest song of the year, it ended the decade as the biggest song of the 2000s. As It Was by Harry Styles. Harry Styles' As It Was from 2022 is one of the standout hits from the early 2020s, released as the lead single from the Harry's House album. With its catchy melody and vulnerable lyrics about change and acceptance, Harry had evolved from his boy band days, and As It Was his announcement that he was here to stay as a solo artist. The song dominated the Hot 100 for 15 consecutive weeks, marking the longest running solo number 1 by a UK artist. It spent a total of 38 weeks in the top 10. With its blend of 80s synth-pop influences, it resonated with fans globally, ending the year as the best-selling single of 2022 worldwide. A bar song, Tipsy by Shaboozey. One of the most surprising and infectious hits of 2024 was when Shaboozey came out of nowhere with a bar song, Tipsy, flipping Jaquan's 2004 hit Tipsy into a viral country-inspired anthem. After grinding in the underground for years, Shaboozey finally got his break after featuring on Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter. But it was a bar song that took him to uncharted heights. The song turned him into a household name, making history as the first black male artist to simultaneously chart at number 1 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs and Country Airplay charts. The song also spent an incredible 16th week on number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 just this past week, so it has every chance of extending its record. Last Night by Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen's Last Night is yet another entry that showcases the power of blending country with pop appeal. Released in 2023, the song captured the angst of a late-night, regretful encounter. Morgan Wallen was already a huge name in country music, but this song took it to another level, as it went straight to the top of the Billboard Hot 100 for an impressive 16 weeks. Last Night didn't just stick to the top of the charts, it started a trend of country songs dominating the Hot 100. While country music did well in its own niche, Last Night proved that it could break out and rule the mainstream, as it was the biggest song of 2023 in the US. Despacito by Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee featuring Justin Bieber. It's hard to imagine 2017 without the infectious reggaeton pop hit Despacito. Initially a hit in Latin charts, Justin Bieber hopping onto the remix, adding English verses, ensured its crossover to the US. Initially, the music video went viral on YouTube, now sitting on an incredible 8.5 billion views. Despacito held on to the number 1 spot for 16 weeks, tying the record for the longest reign at the top at the time. The song's success wasn't just a moment, it was a cultural shift that highlighted the influence of Latin music on the mainstream, as the song started the Latin takeover that helped artists like Bad Bunny and J Balvin to become global superstars. Oldtown Road by Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. No list of long-reigning chart toppers would be complete without Lil Nas X's Oldtown Road, as it still holds the record. What started as a humble SoundCloud release became one of the first songs to go viral on TikTok and helped the song climb to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And we cannot forget that whole controversy of the song being kicked off the country charts that only increased its popularity. But the song turned to a phenomenon when Billy Ray Cyrus joined Lil Nas X for the remix, combining trap beats with country themes, helping this song stay at #1 for a further 18 weeks, 19 weeks in total, breaking the record. Oldtown Road wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural event that redefined genre boundaries and launched Lil Nas X's career. To this day, it stands as the longest running #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. What do you think of the list? Tell me in the comments below.